Good afternoon. Oh, it's a great day. Come on, guys. I want to thank you all for joining us for the bill signing for the the District of Columbia Driver Safety Amendment Act. And we think this is historic. We won't be the first, but we are among a relative few in the nation to have done this. I want to thank Chairman Phil Mendelson for being here with us for this occasion, and of course Councilmember Mary Che, who has joined us as well, who had an important role in helping us get to today. I want to thank also some of the leaders of my administration who are here today. I want to thank especially Roxana Olivas, who is against the wall over there. Roxana, of course, is the director of our Office of Latino Affairs. Julie Koo, where's Julie? Where? Oh, okay. Okay, now you all got to give her as much applause as you gave Roxana, okay? And Ngazi Mezi, who heads our Office of African Affairs. Those three folks, like many, work incredibly hard. They have been incredible advocates and are very dedicated to the constituencies that they represent on my behalf. This is a bill which I first announced, I guess it was back in May, I think right in this room when we had a press briefing. And has now been approved as of a couple of weeks ago by the council, and I want to thank the council for moving ahead on this legislation. What it does, of course, is allow all eligible district residents the right to obtain a limited purpose driver's license, a learner's permit, or an identification card from our District of Columbia Department of Motor Vehicles. And also the right to be able to register a vehicle, an insured vehicle. Of course, that's important, an insured vehicle here in the District of Columbia. And all of that is regardless of citizenship or immigration status, which is a real step forward. And we will have all the work done in time to be able to make sure we can launch officially on May 1st, not later than May 1st of 2014. This bill, we think, will help fight, in fact, I'm sure will help fight the underground market that engages people in providing illegal, illicit driver's licenses. And we want to put an end to that market, certainly here in the District of Columbia. And it does complement what the state of Maryland has done already. In fact, our bill, our legislation is almost identical to the state of Maryland. And I want to thank Governor O'Malley for the work that he has done to put Maryland, he puts Maryland, we put the District of Columbia in the forefront of this civil rights movement. The Congress and the White House allegedly are debating immigration reform. We haven't seen much movement in that regard. And I'm really proud to be a part of the effort to bring about immigration reform here in the District of Columbia and across the nation. I was able to participate in a rally a few months ago on the grounds of the Capitol to promote this issue, and then again on the Mall just about maybe 6 weeks ago. That was during the shutdown, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was during the shutdown. Was it during the shutdown? But the District of Columbia government was not shut down, right, guys? In any event, we are moving forward here in the city to try to bring about various and sundry pieces of an immigration reform effort so that people can drive to work, they can drive to school, they can drive to daycare or to their house of worship, whatever the case may be. Because for so many people, even though we're trying to get people to use other forms of transportation, for many people a car is still a lifeline. and we want to be able to support that lifeline. And we want people to be able to do it without without being in fear of what the consequences may be, and also to be able to have available to them the training, the instruction, to be able to get tested, and then obtain a permit, as well as insurance that will allow them to move forward. So again, we are delighted. I want to ask the chairman of the council now if he would come up and say a few words, and then I would ask Mary Che, Councilmember Mary Che, to come up and follow him. You all are welcome to come individually, singly, or whatever you may wish. And I'm checking your driver's license when you come up also. Revoked.
Oh, it's got your name on it. Thank you, Mayor Gray. Good afternoon to everybody. This was a difficult issue, and the issue went through quite a number of months of debate in the council. And I reminded colleagues at the final reading that there really were two issues involved here. One was this demand for having a single identification card, and I appreciate the desire for that. And the other was the need to enable anybody who wants to and qualifies for driving to have a driver's license. And that's what we've done here. I would rather that an undocumented person be able to drive legally on the city streets than to continue with the current situation, which is where they can't drive legally. And driver's licenses should be about driving. What we did in the council was to work at how we could minimize the distinction between a license that is what's called real ID compliant and I think the mayor called it a limited purpose driver's license, to minimize that distinction. Because we recognize that in other jurisdictions it may be that there would be instances where law enforcement may use the second license as a form of profiling, and we don't want that. So I think what we came up with in the final bill was a bill that, a scheme where the limited purpose driver's license really isn't that distinguishable. And meanwhile, the primary goal, which is ensuring that anybody who is able to drive and wants to drive legally, that they can drive legally in the District of Columbia. And I think that second point is very important and has been lost sometimes in the debate. So I'm pleased with what we were able to finally adopt, because it does enable us to move forward with many, many more people being able to use our streets lawfully, to drive legally, have insurance, properly registered cars, and so forth. Thank you. Councilmember Che.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just delighted to be here. This is, as the mayor said, an historic day, and I want to thank the mayor for introducing this legislation, and Council Chairman Mendelson, of course, and all of my colleagues for helping to push this over the line. There really are two fundamental issues at work here. One is, of course, as has been mentioned, safety. We have thousands of people in the District of Columbia who live among us and who need to drive. And without having the legal means to drive, they tend to drive anyway. They put themselves at risk, and they put members of the public at risk. And so what we want is a legal way for people to be able to drive, to be able to get a license, to be able to register a car, get insurance, and to provide that level of safety for themselves, their families, and for other residents of the district. But there's a second aspect to this, and it's the part that is most meaningful, I think, to all of us, and it's our common humanity. There are those who had wanted the District of Columbia to not have these licenses because they want a level of cruelty to operate on people who are here because they are in an undocumented status. We reject that out of hand. What we want is a reflection of our common humanity, to be able to tell the residents among us, many thousands of them and their families, that if they want to live and work in the District of Columbia and they need to have a car or they need to drive, that they can do so legally in the District of Columbia. And we stand with 11 other states and the territory of Puerto Rico, and including our neighboring state of Maryland and California, and we say that this is the path that we want to take for our residents. And I'm just delighted to be here, so thank you.
I do want to note that we've also been joined by Councilmember at Large Vincent Orange and Councilmember at Large Anita Bonds.
All right. I think those who are getting pins know you are getting pins, right? Which means if you come up a little closer, it'll be easy to give you the pin.
Should we stand by you? Should we stand behind you?
I'm in security guard, so I gotta watch.
Chairman? Chairman of the relevant committee? Councilmember Ted. All included in the price. All right. Arturo, you lost back. Councilmember, here you go. You want to give us a Abiel Nunez. All right. You don't, huh? It's not for federal ID purposes. Where's Jaime? Right there. Yeah. All right. Oh my God, right there. Roxana. Chicken scratcher? Where's Roxana? Rosemary.
Thank you so much.
Julie and all right. Next is our Director of Department of Motor Vehicles, Lucinda Babers, who Councilmember Che and I both want to acknowledge having done a great amount of work in helping to get this done. How about a big hand for Lucinda? Where's Julie?
Yes.
There you go. You know, let me use a pen so I can finish. There we go. And with the last pen, we don't have
Sounds
it.
ready.
All right.
Exacto, muy bien. Muy bien. ¿Quién más? Humberto. No, todo está aprobado. Esto es lo que yo tengo. ¿Quién está aquí? Roxana, ¿estás aquí?
Thank you all very much.
Aquí está el tuyo y a todos muchísimas gracias. Pero pueden estar todos pararse detrás del alcalde y mostrando sus plumas. Si es que podrían pararse todos, por favor, detrás del alcalde. Muy bien. Muy bien, gracias, muchas gracias.